You take me home and give me wings to fly. We can be alone in a castle in the sky. We can run away and leave this world behind.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Storybook Crochet. Today we are continuing our ribbed hat series with the child sizes. This tutorial includes two sizes, one for 1 to 3 years and for 3 to 10 years. Perfect for keeping little ones warm and stylish through the chilly months. It's an easy, beginner-friendly pattern that works up beautifully and looks great on everyone. So let's grab our yarn and hook and we'll jump right in. If you are needing the tutorial for the baby size hats, I will add the link to that video down in the description below. Alright, so to start our pattern, we're going to start by making a slip knot, and then we're going to start our chain. This chain is going to be a different amount for each of the two sizes. So for the 1 to 3 years, you're going to chain 41. And for the large child size, you're going to chain 43. So I will also add that description up on the screen so you can follow along and make the chain for the size hat that you're wanting to make. Okay, so now that we have our chain made, we can go ahead and start row number 1. Now this entire pattern consists of making half double crochets, and I will show you how to do that a few times in case you are not familiar with that stitch. So we are going to start our first stitch in the second chain from our hook. So we'll skip this first one, that is our turning chain, and we'll work into that second stitch. So to make our first half double crochet, you're going to yarn over, and then you're going to stick your hook into that second chain. You're going to grab your yarn and pull that through. You now have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull that through all 3 loops. And that is our first half double crochet. So I'll show you that one more time. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, grab your yarn and pull that through. You have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and then pull that through all 3 loops. So those are 2 half double crochets. So you're now just going to continue to half double crochet across your chain. Once you get to the end, I will show you how to turn and start row number 2. Alright, once you come to the very end of row number 1, we are going to make a chain of 1 and turn. And you're going to do that at the end of every single row. Alright, so we are going to work half double crochets again for row number 2, but this time we're going to do it in the back loop only. So normally when you make a stitch, you go under both loops of each stitch. So you can see they kind of make a V here. That is both of the loops working under. So to do the back loop only, you're going to take your hook and go in between the V and only go under that back loop. And you'll work every single stitch from here on out in that back loop only. So to start our first half double crochet, you'll go in this very first stitch under that back loop and make your first half double crochet. And then you're just simply going to repeat that across, all in that back loop only. Once you come to the end of your row, don't forget to make your chain 1 and then turn your piece over. So at this point, we are just going to repeat row number 2 every single row, and you're going to do this for a different amount of rows depending on the size you're making. So I'm going to just add that information up on the screen for you to follow along with. So go ahead and make the amount of rows that you need, and then I will show you how to finish off your hat. Alright, so now we have all of our rows complete. So what we're going to do at this point is go ahead and attach the two sides together. So to do this, go ahead and chain 1 at the end of your very last row, and then you're going to match the 2 pieces together. So you'll want the 2 ends to come together like this, with each stitch corresponding all the way down. So what we're going to do now is slip stitch across. So you're going to go in the back loop of the row that's facing you, and then on the other side you're going to go in that front loop. So the 2 loops that are touching each other of each side, you're just going to slip stitch together. And then you'll just do that in every single stitch all the way across. So just going through the 2 loops that are touching each other. So go ahead and finish this all the way across the piece, and then I'm going to show you how to sew together the top of the hat so it closes the opening. Alright, so now that we have made it to the end with our slip stitches, the next thing that we want to do is go ahead and cut our yarn. So we're going to just pull out a loop here, and then you're going to want to cut a longer tail, as we're going to use that to weave the top of our hat closed. So go ahead and pull that through your loop. And then before we do the top part, we're going to go ahead and weave in this extra tail we have here, this short one, just to get that out of our way. So you'll just come through the next row that it's next to and just go down 5 or 6 stitches. And then go ahead and come back up through the stitches, and then you can go ahead and cut that tail off. Alright, so we are now ready to go ahead and close the very top of our hat. So you're just going to take your yarn needle with your long tail here, and then you're just going to take your needle and weave it in and out. And there's no like exact precise way to do this. Just go ahead and weave in and out through the stitches. Once you have several on your needle here, you can go ahead and pull your yarn through. And as you pull, you're going to pull tight each time. And that's going to go ahead and cinch that top opening closed for us so that we can finish off our hat. Alright, so now that we have that all the way back to the beginning, you're still going to have a little bit of an opening. So I just take my needle and go across, grabbing the side closest to you and the next side, and just kind of sew across that to help close that a little bit more. And then I just do it in the opposite direction. Once you have that done, you're going to go ahead and just weave in that tail, and I go through a few times on this one just so it doesn't come undone. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the same color as the tail that I have here so that you don't see that through the stitches. So just weave that through a few times back and forth, and then go ahead and cut that tail off. Alright, now that we have that sewn together, you're going to go ahead and flip the hat inside out. Alright, and this will actually be the new outside of our hat, and then you're just going to take the brim and just flip that up. And that finishes off the main part of the hat for us. And next we're going to go ahead and sew on the pom-pom. Alright, so most pom-poms will have a loop here that you can sew. This one's pretty long, so I'm actually going to go directly through the pom-pom to sew it on, but if it's short for you, you can just sew through that. So what you're going to want to do is just grab a stitch on top of the hat with a small or a longer length of yarn here. Pull that through, and then just go through either the pom-pom itself or that loop. Pull that through, and then you're going to want to kind of go through a stitch on the other side of the top of the hat to get that fully attached. Then just pull that tight, and then I go ahead and just tie that off really tight with about 3 knots. Once you have your knots in, then you can go ahead and weave in both ends here and make sure that they're good and secure before you cut those tails off. And that is it for our child-sized ribbed hat crochet tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed making these cozy hats for the kiddos. If you haven't already, be sure to check out the baby size video and don't forget to subscribe because the adult sizes are coming up next. Thank you so much for watching and happy crocheting.
Won't you take me home?